First off, the conference app is your key to everything that we have. So feedback for all the sessions, the agenda, attendees, speakers, and your ability to actually communicate with others that are here. All of the attendees are in the app, so if you can please download that app. It is free of charge. I know we all like that. And so everything is right there in the app, so if you would please download that and use that to help you throughout the day to understand who's on stage and give the feedback, because we want to make this event the best for you all, and we can only do that with your feedback. Last night we had a great reception by CoreLogic, and I wanted to thank them for sponsoring the welcome reception. And truly, we cannot do this conference and all of RESO conferences without our sponsors, so I want to take a minute to highlight our platinum sponsors with the Zillow Group, CoreLogic, and RPR. Our gold sponsors, Realtor.com, FBS, and Auto. And Sandy Core, which is the local MLS, is our silver sponsor and the sponsor of this afternoon's Broker Business Solutions Workshop. And then our bronze sponsors with Black Knight, Paragon MLS, Centralized Showing Service, Dyna Connections, Showing Time, Strata, CRS Data, Homes.com, and Roof Shoot. And like we like to do every year is we like to give away prizes. Anything we can encourage you to get in this room for all our prize sponsors. And so, who likes the Google Home voice-activated speaker? Jeff Rispin, are you in the room? He's the winner of our first prize. This is actually sponsored by RESO. So we'll be giving prizes throughout the day, and you must be in the room to win. So keep that in mind. I have a list of all the attendees, and if you don't get called, you get skipped, and you miss out on some great prizes. I wanted to recognize our 2017 Board of Directors that helped me extensively. They contribute hundreds of volunteer hours to help this organization, help us coordinate with the needs of the industry. And many of them are here today. Many of them are going to be introducing speakers, and they are here as a resource to you. If you have questions, you have concerns, you have ideas, and you cannot find me, please find them. But if I'll have all the directors in the room stand up, just so you can be recognized. And if you take a look at our director list, I'm really happy to have this many industry segments represented, helping RESO lead itself strategically, with Art Carter as our chair from CRMLS, Alon Shaver as our vice chair from Berkshire Hathaway Home Services of America, Richard Renton from Triad MLS as our treasury, Michael Werzer, secretary from FBS, Craig Cheatham from the Realty Alliance, David Gumper from Michael Saunders and Company, Mark Leswing and Chad Curry from NAR, Jeff Young from RPR, Tim Dane from the St. Louis MLS, Mary's, who was formerly at Austin, Steve Bird from Carolina MLS in Charlotte, Chris Carrillo from Metro MLS in Wisconsin, Brian Donnellan from Bright MLS, formerly MRIS and is now merged with Trend, Ethan Bailey from CoreLogic, Tim Ford from Dyna Connections, Glenn Shimkus from DocuSign Advisory Board, Suzanne Mueller from Move, Carrie Sylvester, who's from Keller Williams, and then Kurt Beardsley, our board advisor from Zillow. And again, I want to thank them extensively because they really help us make this organization work for you all. So let's give them one more hand, please. So I have just a couple of highlights from the RESO perspective. But for those of you that are new, we're going to be, in a minute, bringing up all of our key work group chairs, and they're going to talk about a lot of the details we've been working on. But right before that, I'm going to bring up Art Carter as our chair to talk to you about strategically what we've been doing. But a couple of highlights for this year is we now have over 735 member organizations contributing to the evolution of standards. We've increased 17%, but what's really key for us is we've increased broker membership by 64% in the last year. We now have over 800,000 agents that are represented by broker members. That goes from the franchises all the way down to independent brokerages all across the nation, and some that are actually serving global markets. And so we really want to focus on helping their business challenges, and I'm very happy to see their growth. As far as the standards that we do and the certifications that we do, we've got over 1.2 million MLS subscribers that have, in the past couple of years, certified on the RESO Data Dictionary, and they continue to keep up with that and grow as we grow and evolve standards. And now over 850,000 MLS subscribers have certified on the RESO Web API, making those standard platforms available to the industry for those that consume and use data in their daily business as brokers look to use that to help them transact business. Today, this is our 5th sold-out conference for RESO in a row, and I want to thank you all as attendees for helping us do that. It's great that you're here and giving us your input, and we're very happy to say that this is our 5th sold-out conference that we've had in a row. So thank you all for that. And then one last highlight, as we try to work with all the industry segments, is we just released, in conjunction with the Council of MLS, National Association of Realtors, and others from the Department of Energy and Elevate Energy, is a brand new home energy information guide. This guide is to help you from the MLS and the broker perspective put home energy information in the hands of the brokers, the agents, and the consumers. And we want to help expand that data that is very important to the economy that we live in and the home buying experience. And so I encourage you all to download this, released just a couple of months ago. You can go to the Council of MLS's website, and it's in the bottom left-hand corner of their homepage. But this is an area where I wanted to highlight. We're working with all kinds of industry segments like the Department of Energy to bring more data into the real estate process to help agents move listings faster. It's been proven the more data a listing has, the more things that the consumer wants in their home buying experience, the faster homes close, and we want to help that at RESO with the standards that we do, and I wanted to bring that out as an example of where we're moving with all kinds of industry segments from a data standardization perspective. A couple of industry highlights. So we're going to have general session in this room from 9 to 12:30. Lunch is going to be served downstairs in the Lionfish, as well as the Grand Ballrooms 1 and 2 behind me. It's the same place that breakfast was there, and that's open to all attendees. This afternoon, this is where our agenda is a little bit different from those in the past. We have a broker business solutions workshop. We often in the fall have business tracks. This is really designed to help brokers and focus on their business challenges, get their input, and work with you all as business leaders in the industry. So I encourage you all to participate. That will be in this room. We have some amazing speakers that are going to be here in that session, and we encourage that. At the same time, we have our first annual RESO data competition, and this is sponsored by RPR, with prizes also sponsored by FBS and Stratus. This is a true hackathon with a slightly different twist. We've had 20 developmental teams from all industry sectors, many from ones you've never seen before, writing code for the past 30 days, entering to win up to $25,000 in cash prizes. That's going to be downstairs in the same room we had the reception, right below this room. And so you are welcome to attend either the data competition or the business solutions workshop, or use the app and see which of the workshop you might want to attend and jump back and forth. But I want to encourage everyone to see some of the amazing innovations that are coming in the data competition. We have an amazing judging panel that's going to be down there, but there'll also be a crowd favorite where you can vote on one of the prize categories for $5,000 for your favorite entry as part of the award process for that. The competition will be judged on site, and the prizes will be awarded after a short break of all the presentations we have. So we have some people that are amazing software developers from all across the U.S. that have flown in to compete for that, and I encourage you to network with them and see what their ideas are. It might be a product you want to consider in the future for your marketplace. And then lastly, right next to the data competition, there's a meet and discuss lounge. And the saloon, that's sponsored by Auth-O, so there'll be coffee in there around the clock for you. But hopefully our content will keep you excited and awake throughout this entire event. But if not, buzz in there and get a little caffeine buzz and hop right back out and say hello to the sponsors for that room, and that's available entire time. And then tonight, we all love receptions. Tonight's reception is sponsored by Realtor.com at the Smoking Gun, which is literally right around the corner from here. That's going to be from 5:30 to 7, so you all are all welcome to attend that. One thing we started doing last year is allowing you all the opportunity to attend both RESO conferences in the spring and the fall. Our registration for the spring is already open. We do limit attendance because we want you to be able to have an interactive session. And so I encourage you all to register early for that. But we do have a 2018 bundle. So spring will be in Denver at the Curtis Hotel. The fall will be at the Pfister in Milwaukee. These are two great hotels with some nice themes. In the fall, we're going to have a reception at the Harley-Davidson Museum, which is a must-see place in Milwaukee, if you will. And we do have a bundle opportunity that's available at the registration desk. This will be the biggest discount for the conferences next year, so I'd encourage you to take a look at that, and if you're going to attend next year, then please register. If something happens and you have to switch out the staff that you send, we're happy to help you do that along the way, because we do swap those out for pre-registrations as we need to do so. So again, I wanted to thank you all for attending and being here, but really helping with the evolution of standards and being involved and interactive in our conferences, giving myself, staff, and our board of directors your feedback and insight into the challenges you're seeing in the industry and where can RESO help your business in the future. With that, I'd like to introduce Art Carter, the CEO of CRMLS, our chair, one of my 19 amazing bosses, and someone that's led the industry for many, many years. So Art, thank you.
For those of you who know Jeremy, I doubt that there's any questioning that he's the boss of the 19 of us. So thank you, Jeremy, but you're being a little bit too magnanimous. I realize I'm the only thing standing in between you and the work group chair, so I will make this as quick and succinct as possible. That was our word last night for the board of directors, and I don't think we quite came through with that. But really want to talk about RESO as an organization, and from many aspects, I'd like to just ask for a show of hands. How many of you are here for the very first time? Okay, those of you who are here for the very first time, I'm going to ask another question. How many of you in this room have been involved with RESO for over 10 years? Keep your hands up. All of you newbies, look at those hands around the room, and if you need to ask questions, yeah, Paul Stuziak will be in the bar. He does have an open tab under your credit card. So, but just look around, because there is a wealth of experience in this room to draw upon. And at the board of directors level, each of you in this room may have different reasons as to why you're here and the motivating factor as to why you're behind standards. But from the RESO board of directors standpoint, it is very clear that the motivating factor behind why we're doing what we do and why the hours are being spent is the brokerage community. I tell people all the time, I run a broker cooperative. I may utilize technology to do that, but our job at the MLS level is to help facilitate broker-to-broker compensation, cooperation, and a community that services the real estate community itself. And RESO is such an important cog in that. I get asked many times, why do we develop and push forward so many things from a standard standpoint? It's truly because the brokerage community deserves and needs a little bit better from us from a technology standpoint. From that standpoint, we are very directly engaged with the brokerage community at the board of directors level. We have 5 different directors from boards or from brokerages around the country, and those people, many of them are sitting in this room today and have been highly involved in pushing our standards forward. So it is an important part from the RESO standpoint that our brokerage community is not only engaged but involved in everything that we do. And it's a primary reason why we're doing the broker workshop this afternoon, is to pull more experience and expertise from the brokerage community into the RESO work groups, and to get that engagement to a level that I think will benefit the industry as a whole. We have done something at the board of directors level that I think is pretty important. Hopefully, we all have this many acronyms in this business, and one of the acronyms that we use a lot but we don't publish is RDR, and that's Realtors Don't Read. We've come to find out that a lot of RESO members don't read either. So many of you may not be aware that as of April 24th of 2017, we did sunset the RETS work group. And from our standpoint, we recognize that the RETS platform is going to continue to be used out in the industry for replication, but we are focused on the API and moving all of our resources towards innovation on the API side. So just an important thing for that standpoint. Our top goal for 2018 is to support the brokerage needs for interface of choice. And hopefully everybody knows what that means. If you don't, it really means that we're going to start pushing primarily in the first 6 months of the year towards completing the web API update function, okay? That is a big, major focus of the board of directors and something that we are really excited on moving forward. I can tell you, sitting around the board of directors table, we make a lot of decisions, and it can be very dry at sometimes. But one of the highlights for me in every one of these meetings is a face-to-face with the board of directors. And more importantly, a face-to-face with our work groups and our work group chairs. And I would highly recommend that if you're not involved in a work group, that you do so. These guys get excited. If you could have seen the look on Greg Moore's face last night, for those of you, Greg, where are you? Yes. Greg's genuinely excited about some of the things that are coming through R&D. Rob Larson's genuinely excited about more enumerations out of the data dictionary, and Mark Bassett is absolutely beside himself. He's renamed the PUID, and we're calling it the Unique Property Identifier. Is that what we're going for? So look for that information to come along. You're going to see Chris Lambros up here a little bit later. You're going to see, hopefully everybody knows who Greg Lemon is. Actually, Greg, if you could stand up. Greg is Mr. Certification. Most likely, most of you have talked with Greg at some form or function, especially on the MLS side when it comes to certifying either your database on the data dictionary or on the web API. So thank you, Greg, for all of your hard work on that side. And who am I forgetting from the workgroup chairs? Oh, Paul Stuziak. Well, I already called Paul out. He's going to be in the bar later on. So Paul and Rick Trevino, who's heading up our payloads work group. So there's going to be some meetings on Thursday that I highly recommend that you guys attend from that standpoint. So with that, 2017 was a banner year from a strategic standpoint for RESO. And Jeremy already went through all of the statistical things of the increased participation. But one of the things that we are focusing on in 2017 is a key word, and that key word is utilization. Adoption had been such a focus of what it was that we were pushing for, and getting the data dictionary to a point with all the enumerations with 1.6 and getting the web API out there and published. Adoption was a key part, but utilization is going to be the focus of this organization going forward. As you could tell, we have the vast majority of the MLSs in the country who are utilizing the data dictionary to deliver information out to third-party vendors, the brokerage community, and such. But right now, what we really want to do is make sure that this industry as a whole transitions off of legacy feeds in the RESO world, the RETS feeds, over to more of the data dictionary certified feeds. So utilization is a word that you're going to hear a lot, especially out of the next group that is popping up. We need to keep the promise that our adoption is going to change the industry. And the adoption and utilization of standards, we truly do believe, is going to work itself out from that standpoint. So with that, I have been tasked with presenting the next group that is going to speak to you. If I can have Mike Wurtzer come up. Every one of the speakers were asked to give a bio, and for whatever reason, Mike did not provide one. I asked him last night, did he want me to go with ex-Navy SEAL or male exotic dancer? He wasn't really happy with either one, so I think he's just trying to hide the fact that he was an attorney in a former life, and trust me, you can listen to this guy, he's gotten better. So with that, I will turn it over to Mike. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Art.